Yeah.
Woo, woo.
That's the sound of the smile getting bigger and bigger on my face because it is 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, and we're doing the People's Pre-Fight Show, which means fights are going to start at lunchtime. At lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen. I love it so much. That's right. Get excited. At least here on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it starts at breakfast time, but depends on who you are. But thank you for joining us for the People's Pre-Fight Show for UFC Charlotte. I am Mike Heck, being joined by the baddest stash in MMA himself, Casey Leydon. Yeah. I can't wait for the spin to not hit the microphone. I will stand and applaud. I will stand and applaud. So how are we doing? It's some early day MMA, Casey. How is it on the West Coast? How are we feeling? At 8:30 in the morning your time.
Yeah, it was it's good. I like these early cards. It's just getting into it. You know, just usually we start this. I've been up for like 12 hours already. You know, I just woke up 45 minutes ago, walked the dogs, had to clean up some dog pee, you know, doing all the morning stuff like, and now fights.
Yes.
Got
so now you don't have to
juice,
you don't have to take a pre-fight nap because you kind of already took one, but a really long one.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean,
yeah.
most of you who are here understand how this works. If you're new to the People's Pre-Fight Show, we just answer your questions until the first punches are thrown. So leave them in the chat. We will pull them up. We will discuss. They could be about UFC Charlotte. I mean, we had a Bellator card yesterday. We could talk about that. We could talk about whatever. Just whatever will get you more excited for UFC Charlotte. So pop them up.
All right.
And what do we have first, Casey?
This question is actually from last week, but
really?
I feel it's pertinent for every week.
Okay. Who on the main card has the most to lose with a loss? I think it's Anthony Smith, isn't it?
Where's the main card start? Is it 4 fights or 5 fights?
5. It's 5. So it's Tim Means, Alex Morono, Carlos Ulberg, Ihor Potieria, D-Rod, Ian Machado, Garry, Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker, Jairzinho, Rozenstruik, Jailton, Almeida.
All right.
It's either Anthony Smith or Johnny Walker, but I think it's Anthony Smith. If he wants to get back to a title shot, he has to win this fight. He's 34. He's going to be 35 in July. He ain't getting any younger. He's still a good fighter, and he's got aspirations outside of the sport. He's a great guy in terms of being on the desk. I think he will be put into the mix eventually for color commentary, as he should. But if he wants to reach the pinnacle and become the light heavyweight champion of the world, he needs to be Johnny Walker, because I feel like time is running out at this point. But it's one of those two guys, I think. What do you think?
I'll go top 4 fights. I'm not really counting Tim Means and Morano. I think those are guys who just it's a good action fight. I think that was just booked purely because of the violence that's gonna ensue. But I think I agree with you. Of all the top 4 fights, if Anthony Smith loses, and especially if he loses bad, title aspirations are pretty much done, and Anthony Smith will be kind of that, main event, co-main event, fight night guy that's gonna be set up to put over the other guy. I think we know how good Anthony Smith is, and basically he's gonna be that. I think that top 5 gatekeeper for now. And if Johnny Walker can beat him, then obviously, Johnny Walker's for real. If he can't beat him, then if Anthony Smith wins, we're not gonna go, Anthony Smith should be fighting for the title next. But if Johnny Walker wins big, we'll be like, okay, that's the Johnny Walker that we thought was going to the title, And that's just kind of the situation Anthony Smith is in right now. So yeah, I definitely agree that Anthony Smith has the most to lose on this card. It's a risky fight. But there are risky fights, honestly. But yeah, especially at his age. Yeah.
I think you can make a case for either of those two. I think it's like 55-45 Anthony Smith, but you can make a case it's Johnny Walker too, because if he loses this fight, like that's 2 opportunities the UFC has given him to sort of get over that hump. And if you lose both times, it's not very good. And Johnny Walker, since he's kind of swapped over to SBG, a lot of fans kind of give him a little bit of flack because he's not the crazy, exciting Johnny Walker for the most part. He got to finish in his last fight. But
That's 2 fights.
That's true. That's true.
And
Who did he fight before that?
Paul Craig knocked out Paul Craig.
In Iwan Kuchalaba. That's right.
In round 1 too. Yeah, I forgot about Ian Kuchalaba fight too. I think we were both thinking Paul Craig. I don't know, for some reason we didn't. I don't know. We forgot about the Ian Kuchalaba fight. I don't know why.
Because Iwan Kuchalaba like either gets finishes or gets finished. So we kind of, it's just like, oh yeah, kind of cancels it out almost. But yeah, I think the Paul Craig one was, I don't know. I don't think it was surprising, but it was needed. Like if he just went out there and won like a 30-27 decision over Paul Craig and it wasn't all that compelling, that's one thing. But drilled him on the feet, knocked him out, and that's how you got to get it done. So yeah, it's one of those two guys. I don't think the loser of the main event loses too much.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think the main event, if Almeida gets knocked out bad or Rozenstruik gets knocked out bad, I think the hype will be over for a little bit, but it can come back, especially for Almeida. I think
Almeida can go back to 205 and like just run roughshod at 205. So yeah. It's a good question though for this one.
Yeah. That's why I kept that. So I was like, I'm gonna keep this one actually. But just looking at Johnny Walker's win-loss record. I mean, looking back on it, the Jamal Hill loss looked really bad, but now you lost to the champ. It's not a big deal. I think the Santos fight, that one sucked. That was just a bad. Was that a main event? It's just not.
That was a main event.
Every fighter, every awesome, super exciting fighter has that one fight, except for like Justin Gaethje. But like every single fighter in the universe has that one fight. You go, okay, we're just not going to talk about that fight, But really, they lost to Corey Anderson. Yeah, I believe that was really good. Corey Anderson.
That was too soon.
That was the Krylov fight. It happened. Krylov's a good talent. And he beat Ryan Spann, first round knockout. Yeah. I feel like we were writing the obituary for Johnny Walker a little too soon. But
we did it for Anthony Smith too. After Glover put the boots to him, we were like, this dude's done. He ain't ever getting back to a title shot. Because he had lost to John. He beat Gus, and then he got annihilated by Glover Teixeira. Got his teeth knocked out. Like, we were blaming his coaches. We were blaming everybody. And then he fights Alexander Rakic. That fight was not competitive at all. It was a dominant decision win. And then he strangles Devin Clark in a main event that like wasn't supposed to be the main event. Then he beats Jimmy Crute in kind of a weird one. And then he just runs over Ryan Spann. And we're like, all right. And then he gets the Ankalaev fight, and Anthony Smith did a great job selling that fight, but Ankalaev went out there and kind of injured Anthony Smith and just beat him down. So, we've kind of written both of these guys obituaries.
I realized that as we were saying it out loud, I was like, oh yeah, they kind of do have a similar kind of storyline. But should this have been the main event? Should the co-main event have been the main event?
I think you can make cases for both, but I mean the way I view it. It probably should have been, but I do think that the UFC wants to get Almeida on a big stage and let him do his thing. Because if he goes out there and does what I think he's going to do, people are just going to be like current fans, newer fans, anyone who like tunes in and sees this guy just lift a massive 265-pound guy over his shoulder and slam him and then just mount him and beat him up. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, who's this guy? Let's get him in there for the title." So. I get it, but yeah, I think
it's 5 rounds.
Overall.
It can be a dangerous 5 rounds for national TV. That's very risky. It's very risky. But
if this gets to round 3, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get real ugly.
I love those type of fights, but I think with the average fan just waking up, turning on ABC Sports going, what the hell? I always wonder what people...
Our Slack channel is going to be electric if this gets to round 3.
I'd be so excited. All right. To the main event. Let's talk about the main event.
How long do you think Almeida will try to stand and strike with Rozenstruik? You think Almeida doesn't even attempt to strike and just go for the takedown? So I'll say over under 60 seconds before Almeida shoots Casey.
How long have we seen Almeida stand on his feet in the UFC?
Oh God, I don't know. Not long.
Yeah, I'm honestly trying to remember. Yeah, it's okay. The Shamil fight, he won that fight in the second round, but the first round was like he like 10-7'd him, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, he took him down. He took him down immediately and just mounted him and beat him up.
Just had him against the cage and just okay, yeah, I remember. Okay, I was just double checking my memory on that one. Would you say 60 seconds?
Yeah, 60 seconds before he shoots. Over under.
I'm gonna go over, but that 60 seconds, nothing will happen either. It's gonna be just lots of circling. I think within 2 exchanges. How about that? I'm gonna go 2 exchanges. Just because it's a 25-minute heavyweight fight, they might not do anything for 90 seconds. You never know. But I think there'll be within the second exchange, we'll see Almeida is gonna get his actual hands on Rozenstruik, and he will go for some sort of takedown. So yeah.
I don't have a hammer here, but if I did, I would be hammering the under so fast. I think Almeida is just going to tackle him immediately. He's just going to get it. He'll maybe one exchange. Like if Rozenstruik gets anywhere close to him, he's going to wrap his arms around his body, put him against the fence, and he's going to take him down. Yeah. So I will say under. I think he immediately takes him down.
I think we both kind of see the same thing. I just think they're gonna be a little more tentative at the very beginning, so a minute might pass before anything happens.
Yeah,
but
it is a main event.
Yeah, because it's 25 minutes. That's why I was suggesting that. But I think we both pretty much see the same fight. All right.
Over under 10 strikes. We'll answer this question right after. Over under 10 strikes landed for Jairzinho Rozenstruik in this fight, which would be more than any of his past opponents in the UFC combined have landed against Jailton Almeida.
I'm gonna say under, but I'm not counting strikes from the bottom.
All right, yeah.
But strikes from a dominant position, I would say under 10 strikes from a dominant position.
Casey, what do you think about the pre-fight antics from Ian Machado Garry? So
for this,
it's been a fun week. So have you seen what he's been doing?
No, catch me up on it. Actually, I didn't.
Okay, so Ian, there's a video that surfaced of Ian kind of seeing D-Rod at the Fighter Hotel, and he went right up to him and like shook his hand, and they had like a fun conversation, and he's like, just doing Ian Machado Garry things. Then on Thursday night, a video surfaces. This is the day before the weigh-in, and Ian Machado Garry drops a pizza and a box of medicinal herbal medicine to D-Rod's door, knocks on the door. Sasha Palatnikov, who is a training partner of D-Rod, opens the door, sees this, and he picks it up and he looks around and then eventually just takes it and brings it into the room and shuts the door. And then D-Rod misses weight by a half a pound for his first attempt.
Oh, okay.
First attempt. So everyone's like, oh, it's Pizzagate. Ian Garry helped him miss weight. So D-Rod takes the extra time and makes weight on the second attempt. And Ian Garry is sitting in the crowd. He's sitting in the audience and he cheers him on. He was like, all right, yeah. And gives him sort of an ovation. And then they have the face off at the ceremonials, and Ian Garry does that silly little dance that he does. But Ian's been a focus of this card for sure with some of these antics, but I think mostly the question is about the pizza and the oregano looking medicine that he passed along.
So what I think, that's Ian Garry getting his name out there, getting the conversation going. It. That's all. I think that's good fun. That's good fun.
It is good fun.
I think Daniel Rodriguez he appreciated that. They had a good laugh about it. When they fight,
I'm sure he did.
When they fight, they're gonna have their mean faces on. They're gonna try to knock each other's heads off. But I think both these gentlemen are, it's like, all right, let's save that energy for the fight. That's that negative, aggro energy. Yeah, it's just fun. Good. I like it. I like stuff like that. And Ian Garry filmed it. He filmed them putting the pizza there and everything, I assume.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
He like hit it's him going and dropping the boxes, and then they knock on the door, and then they like hid the camera like underneath some sheets. It looks like as Palatnikov's like skirting, trying to figure out like who could have done this, who could have dropped this off.
That's even okay. You know what? That's even funnier. I even like it more now.
It was very funny. It was very funny. I think Ian Garry. I think this is good for Ian Garry. I think it's good for his image, and he's a fun-loving guy. He's not just like, a lot of people are just like, well, he's just trying to mimic Conor McGregor. No, Conor didn't do any of this stuff.
He's mimicking, but he's Irish. I get it. He looks up to him because they're prize fighters. Everyone looks up. If you're a prize fighter, you look up to Conor McGregor because he won that game in terms of prize fighting.
100%.
Yeah, he won.
I love it.
Do you like? Has Ian Machado Garry, UFC, as far as UFC promoting him and booking him, has it been perfect so far?
Close. In hindsight, the Kenan Song fight was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I hated that matchmaking. Absolutely hated it because I felt like it was a step back for Ian in some respects because they were like slowly building him up and slowly giving him these step ups in competition. So let me just go back and pull up his UFC run. So it was Jordan Williams, which I thought was a perfect fight. Then you go to Darian Weeks. I thought it was a perfect fight. Go to Gabe Green, perfect matchmaking. Wins all of those fights. And then to go from Gabe Green, who's fighting on this card, by the way, all the way back to Kenan Song, I thought was very strange. The fight ended up being really good, and Kenan Song cracked him early in that fight and almost finished him. And then Garry was able to tap into those reserves and ended up getting Kenan out of there, which I think he needed to do as such a huge favorite. So I guess in hindsight, yeah, I think it has been perfect. But I remember when they booked the Kenan Song fight, I was like, what? What are we doing here? Why are we giving him a step back in terms of like how I would rank him? But in the end, the fight turned out to be better for Ian because he overcame some adversity and got a finish at the same time. So, and this matchmaking is incredible. This is perfect matchmaking.
Yeah. As Machado Garry, has he been? Like, I remember the Song fight. It wasn't, to me, the opponent was odd, but it was really the placement on the card that really threw me off because that was a pay-per-view. And it wasn't on the actual pay-per-view card, which it was a great pay-per-view card, so I get that one. But it wasn't put at, say, I think the prelim main event was Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones, which turned out to be kind of a dud of a fight. Okay,
that fight, the Garry fight wasn't even on those prelims at all. Like not just the main event, it wasn't even on those prelims. It was on the ESPN Plus prelims.
Yeah, it wasn't even televised. It was streamed, not even televised. So that one really threw me off. I never understood that. But, so they're putting him at the top of the card. I'm seeing more questions, or at least equal amount of questions for Ian Garry than anyone else on this card. So obviously there's lots of interest on him. And, this is a big-time fight for him. And I suspect if he wins tonight, well, first of all, if he wins, he will be a top 15 fighter for sure, I think. Right? What'd you say? Is he top 15 if he
I think D-Rod is ranked in the UFC
right
rankings. Or you just
at least for the UFC rankings for sure for the UFC
he's 15. Rankings. D-Rod's 15.
Okay, yeah. So if Ian Garry wins this, then I'll be. I would have to think his next fight would be hopefully a main event for a fight night or I would think a pay-per-view card. At least like I don't know. And he's not co-main event guy yet on a pay-per-view, but more of that third fight from the top on a pay-per-view. But big time fight for him.
Yeah, this is an on to the next one pick after UFC 287. Kevin Holland gets the winner of this fight, whether it's Garry or D-Rod.
Yeah,
Holland's a big name.
Yeah, no, both of them work. Yeah. Cool. All right. Next question.
But I'm with you. This is to me, this is the most intriguing fight of the weekend. This includes the Bellator card.
In terms of Garry, and if Garry looks great, as far as like the potential, for sure. This is when I was making my picks. This was the one I was like, ooh, boy. I was like, I kind of have my mind made up in the other guys, but I was like, ooh, I had to think about it for a while. And I don't know. This is we're going to see. We kind of know who D-Rod is. We know who D-Rod is, but we're going to see how good Machado Garry is. I think.
Yep.
Those fights are fun. Those fights are fun. I like those type of fights.
Currently at work right now, listening. Always love the live streams, guys. Thank you, Ghost.
How you doing, Ghost?
Hopefully you can watch some fights while you're at work.
Oh, we mentioned this earlier, but someone asked questions.
You walk the dog, but you clean up dog pee. I that one struck me a little bit, but I was like, maybe he has the pee pads. Maybe you have the pee pads, and you have to.
The dog came down the stairs, peed by the door, so I was like, oh man, I had to go last night. But I have 2 dogs, people. I still got to walk the other dog. And just because they pee.
Oh, yes. Touche.
Yeah. And just because they pee, they got more in there. They got more.
Oh, yeah.
They don't just pee once and they're done. So, yeah.
I got so lucky when we got this dog. Like, I've told this story before. This is the first dog I've ever had in my life. Ever had. And
what?
Got him like a year and a half ago or 2 years. It'll be 2 years it'd be like 2 years and a couple of weeks that we've had him. But at this point, like, if he has to go, he just barks. He runs to the front door, and then we just let him in the front yard. He pees, and then he runs right back in. It's the best.
That's pretty cool.
It's so nice. It's so
cool.
Yeah,
dogs that don't run away, they'll go outside and like, all right, it's time to go back in. Those are, yeah. I always feel bad for when people have dogs. When they open the door, the dog just shoots out. I'm like, oh, jeez. Yeah. All right. Ooh, wait, I saw. Where's that going?
We'll keep this going until both fighters of the first fight are in the cage, which is Jessica Rose Clark and Lisboa.
All right.
Which should be fun, by the way. I'm curious about that fight.
Who is
see how Jessica Rose? See if Jessica Rose Clark can bounce back.
Who is Lisboa? I know she's new to the UFC. What do you know about her? I don't know.
She's a striker. She's a very strong Muay Thai game, but has submission skills as well. She's from Brazil. She gets after it. She gets after it, and she's not afraid to put herself out there to get got in her own right. I actually feel like this is a really tough matchup for Jessica Rose Clark. She has 2 losses. This is only her 8th pro fight. She has a Muay Thai loss to Valentina Shevchenko back in 2010. Her first pro MMA fight was against Norma Dumont, and she's won 5 of 6 since, finishing. I think she's finished all of them.
That's very impressive. Yeah. As a ladies bantamweight, all her victories, she has finished her opponent. And after the Dumont loss, she had 1 loss in 2020 back in Brazil. So
like the records of the opponents that she's beaten are not very good. A lot of debuts. Her last opponent was 1-4. Opponent 4 was 0-1. So, but I think her style is a lot of fun. Like she just gets after it. May not be the most technically acceptable style, but man, she brings it. And she looks for the finish, so she's fun. And we'll see if Jessica Rose Clark can bounce back. So
should be fun. I like that she fought.
It's a women's bantamweight fight, Casey. We don't see too many of these.
It's a unicorn. I know. I think people were scaring me. They were saying that fight's off. I'm like, what? No.
Oh no!
Better fight's not happening. Yeah. All right.
The division needs it. We need it. Damn it. Gian Kim Mandy Boehm is going to be fun too. Did you see that?
That's a fun fight. I like that. Yeah, I'm excited about that fight. That's a good action fight. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump a little off this card. Talk about some other fighters.
Is Hamzat's next fight going to be in 2040? No, I think he'll fight in Abu Dhabi.
When is Abu Dhabi? November?
October. I think he'll fight in October. And they better do the Paulo Costa fight. Like, I know there's like a lot of buzz around maybe him fighting Kamaru Usman. If that fight happens, it's going to happen at 185. I would rather see the Paulo Costa fight, if we're being honest.
What's going on? I mean, how can a guy who came onto the scene has like this killer who fights every 15 minutes, all of a sudden now we're getting questions like this? Like, how did this happen?
I mean,
whose
Hamzat's
fault is this?
saying the right things. I don't know. Hamzat's saying like, I want to fight. I want to fight. Saying that
I'm
he's
not even
told
the biggest.
Ariel he's got no.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
even
he
the
told
biggest
Ariel there's
Hamzat
no
fan, but
travel issues. So I mean, I don't know. It's very strange.
like it's super strange. Like who is lying? Who is lying? I don't know. It's a bummer. I'm kind of so much. I don't know. It just seems like it's just a waste. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it.
Yeah, he's saying Colby turned him down. Colby's saying that he said yes to that fight a million times. I don't know. It's very weird. It's very strange.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Bo Nickel hype train? Who should he fight after Gore? I mean, we're just writing off
Yeah.
poor Trayshawn, aren't we? Holy
know, wow.
smokes.
I know what you think of that. I know what this Tommy Frazier thinks of the hype train. Jeez, I think he's going light speed.
I think Bo will win, but Trayshawn's a pretty dangerous guy. That Josh Frem submission was nasty. That was one of the most violent gillies I have ever seen in my life. Just a violent guillotine choke. Where would you go with Bo if he beats Trayshawn at UFC 290? You have to think they're going to put him on another big card.
I know I might be going against the comment. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. I'm kind of if a fighter like Bo Nichols to me, if he says I can beat this guy who's at the top of the chain, not Izzy, but I don't know, a number top 5 guy, like I would love it. I want Bo Nichols to fight Marvin Vettori. I just beat Gore and go straight.
Damn.
Because I'm just like. Because Bo Nickel's not a kid. How old is Bo Nickel? He's in his upper 20s, right?
29.
Yeah. Okay. So he's in his. He might not be in his MMA prime, but he's in his athletic prime.
He's 27. He's 27.
Okay. So he's right there in his athletic prime. He's not maybe he's still building up MMA skills. So he's still working on that. But the guy, he talks big. I like just all right. Let's do this. This isn't like who's a 12-year-old kid that just lost in the UFC. Forgot his name already.
Oh, Raul Rosas.
Yeah. He's not a Rosas Jr. Like where Rosas like 18 or 19 or whatever. I get him. Saying I could beat Aljo. Okay, cool. But you're a kid. But Bo Nickel, he's not a kid. He's a grown man. Athletic peak. If he beats Gore convincingly too, I guess I'm assuming it's a dominant finish. Yeah, I would love a Vettori type of fight. Is Vettori booked? I feel like
he's fighting Jared Cannonier next month, main event.
Okay, probably. Oh, yeah. So he probably fight maybe the winner or loser of that fight. I'm not really sure, but I would like to see Bo Nickel. I'm ready. I know we want slow rolls, but I'm not. We can slow roll other guys. I don't think Bo Nickel's the guy to slow roll. I'm excited.
Yeah,
okay.
I need to see a little more. Well, we'll see how he does against Trayshawn.
Do you think Bo Nickel is that good? Do you think he will be that good to beat a guy like Jared Cannonier, to beat a guy like Marvin Vettori? Do you think he's that good?
Marvin's a tough one, man. Like that's a tough one.
So we think
maybe,
Marvin.
I don't know. It's tough to say. I would give him just like a veteran. Eric Anders is fighting Marc-Andre Barrios at UFC 289. Winner of that's a nice, fine step up. Eric Anders has spoiled these parties before. Marc-Andre Barrios is a fun fighter that can bring different and interesting styles. It just depends on like who trains with who, because I know MAB may be an ATTI. I'm not sure. I like Eric Anders either way. Eric Anders is a good like vet test, and then from there you kind of go to the. I was gonna say Brad Tavares, but I actually want to see Alaskarov, who just deaded Phil Haas fight Brad Tavares. I'm actually higher. Now. I would rather see Alaskarov get these big tests over Bo, because Bo, I think you have a little more time. Alaskarov should never even have fought on the Contender Series. Bo is still relatively new to this, and he hasn't fought he's done what he is supposed to do, but he hasn't fought anyone with a ton of experience or with a really strong weapon. If you go out there and you just wreck Eric Anders, that's okay, this guy's really good. we could push him. We can give him a top 20 guy. The worst thing you can do with him right now is push him too quickly and he loses. If like this guy can't, like Raul Rosas Jr. is 18, like he can bounce back from that. Bo can't really lose right now. He can't really afford to lose right now. You know what I mean? You have to be smart.
I understand. I get it too, but I don't know. Okay. The 85 division in general. Think about how exciting the 85 division could be very soon. If Bo Nickel really hits that potential, how do you say? I gotta remember how to say that guy's name.
Alaskarov. That dude is a problem. Stay away from that guy right now. Do not fight him yet. I know he called you out. Do not fight that dude. Don't fight him.
That was the one guy I said Bo Nickel should not fight Alaskarov. If the entire division, even Adesanya, he should not fight Alaskarov. But think of it. To me, if I'm Marvin Vettori and I lose to Cannonier, or I'm Cannonier and I lose, I take that Bo Nickel fight because Bo Nickel is only getting better. He's only going to get better. To me, if I'm one of those top 10 guys, fight him now, destroy that hype early. You're the guy that beat the hype train. I think even though it's a giant step back ranking-wise, it's a giant step up in name recognition-wise for, I think, a lot of these. For it's like, I don't know who's another. I can't even think of it. I got any list of middleweight.
Dude, there's a ton. Joe Pyfer has been on a nice run. I mean, eventually you have to give Bo Nickel the Gerald Mearshart test. You have to give him that at some point, because I mean is Mearshart
above? Is he above or below Tavares? Are they kind of the same? Like one's a striker, one's
They're right around the same. I would say Tavares is probably a little bit higher, but not much. Like I would say Tavares is like a 20, 22-ish. Mearshart's probably like 25-ish in that range. But I mean, look, there's a ton of like Andre Petrosky is another guy in that division that's making moves. We mentioned Alaskarov. We haven't seen Aliaskhab Kizriev fight in a while, but that dude is a friggin' wrecking ball too. Abu Magomedov is about to fight in a freaking main event against Sean Strickland July 1st.
I still don't believe that's real.
Absolutely insane.
I don't believe
it's real. We have guys like Christian Leroy Duncan coming up right now that people are very excited about. I mean, middleweight is I know we call it like middleweight fights, and we kind of joke about like middleweights having a certain style, and that is absolutely true. But with some of these guys that are coming up right now, middleweight has that. Remember we were talking like 2020 after the pandemic, like where women's flyweight could be. Like we're all very excited about the future of women's flyweight, and now we're kind of here, and it's like the more competitive division out of all the women's divisions right now. It's the deepest division.
Yeah.
Middleweight. If I'm buying stock in a division right now, I mean, I think featherweight is completely underrated, but middleweight is a division that in the next 2 or 3 years is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But that's kind of the natural cycle. You get a dominant champ, and he just dominates. So we go in to start to think that, the whole division must kind of suck because the champ is so dominant. We talked this about flyweights of Demetrius. Not us educated MMA folk, but the casuals. That flyweights suck. We thought the ladies flyweight sucked because Valentina was so dominant. It really just takes a little time. That's all. And yeah. Even when Anderson ruled over the middleweight division, everyone kind of thought the middleweight division sucked because Anderson was so dominant. So it should be interesting.
So we got John Anik, Dominic Cruz, and DC. So Anik and 2 DCs. Anik, I know, is very excited about this card because he can call it and then he can just hop on a plane and fly right home. He's very excited about that.
All right. Are they walking out? Where are we at in the broadcast? I don't have it up.
Just started. They're just talking. Okay. They're doing the open now. We got some time. I have a feeling they're going to milk this thing a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Is today the last UFC fight of Chase Sherman's career?
How many times have we said that?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. It's pretty bad. It's like 1-8 in his last 9. It's not a good record, but here's the thing. Chase always stays ready, and he will take a fight against anybody on any kind of notice whatsoever. He did it with he was out of the UFC for a minute, right? He got cut in 2018, goes on the scene, BKFC, does it in island fights. He's just wrecking dudes quick, gets a phone call, fights Ike Villanueva, knocks him out. What a moment that was. And then he loses 3 in a row and he gets cut. And then Alexander Romanov needs an opponent. And who do they call in less than a week's notice? Chase Sherman, who says, all right, cool, I'll do it. Gets a new deal. And now this is the 4th fight on the new deal. It could be. He might get maybe they don't re-sign him, but you bet your ass if there is a heavyweight fight that is in need of a short notice opponent, they're going to call Chase Sherman real fast and Chase will say yes. So I will say no. I will say this will not be the last fight of Chase Sherman's career, win or lose. And obviously if he wins, he's probably going to get another deal. But even if he loses, I think there will be a time where, especially in today's day and age when there's a card every weekend and there's many heavyweight fights, Chase is going to get a phone call to come in and save a spot. So I will say no, either way.
Man, there's something wrong with if he loses tonight, he will be 4 wins and 11 losses in the UFC. That's something.
Yep.
That's just. I don't know.
He will be UFC. He will be 1-6, or 2-6 since re-signing with the UFC in 2020.
Yeah, I got. I don't know. I need someone else to look up the stat, but for someone with more than say 2 UFC wins, he has to have the lowest win percentage in the UFC, especially if he loses tonight. That's a credit. Maybe. What's that? Is he becoming the heavyweight Sam Alvey? He just.
What
was Sam Alvey's final UFC record?
It was really bad. He didn't win a fight for a long time. But Chase won not long ago. He beat Jared Vanderaa less than a year ago.
This is crazy. Sam Alvey, as much as people make fun of his record or whatever, he was 10-13. Chase had a nice little. Didn't Chase have a nice little win streak going before he got released? Yeah, you got 2 wins in a row. Nice.
Remember the Rashad Coulter fight in Dallas? That fight was insane.
I am so impressed by Chase Sherman's career. The fact that he has been able to keep this up for so long, and in the UFC being 4-10, and I was like, Sam Alvey had a much worse record. He was 10-13. Sam Alvey had 10 wins. I can never see Chase Sherman getting 10 legit wins in the UFC. But man, credit to him, man. Just really, just taking. I don't know if he fights for $4 or what, man, or something. But good on him,
he's
man.
losing to the Justin Ledet loss is not a great one in hindsight, but at the time, 2017, getting finished by Walt Harris, not a bad loss. 2017, getting finished by Shamil Abdurakhimov. It's not like Shamil finishing you in 2023. Justin Willis was a good little up and comer at the time. Augusto Sakai.
Everyone loses to Parker Porter. Andre
Arlovsky, Parker Porter, who could be the next guy to fight John Jones in a rematch.
He's right. It's right there. It's right there, guys. Set it up.
He got the best Jake Collier ever, and then he gets Alexander Romanov, and this is before the Marcin Tybura fight. This is when Romanov was the wrecking ball, and I believe by the time that fight happened, Alexander Romanov was the biggest favorite in UFC history. Heading into that fight, he was a minus 2,500 favorite, which is insanity. Then he knocks out Jared Vanderaa, and he loses to a grappling heavy Waldo Cortez Acosta. So yeah, unfortunately, this matchup is kind of like the kryptonite of Chase Sherman, guy who just wrestles his ass off. Yeah, but I still think he's going to get another shot because they're going to need a heavyweight to fill in at some point.
Yeah, okay. Good on Chase Sherman. That's awesome. That's good on Chase Sherman.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the main event.
How many fights will it take Jailton to get to a title shot, Casey?
Where's Jairzinho ranked? Is he top? He's top 10, right? I assume he's top 10.
In the UFC rankings, I bet he's
Yeah.
higher.
Oh, maybe not.
He's 9. He's number 9.
Number 9. If he gets a first round finish tonight, but can he get through Parker Porter?
He already did.
Oh yeah, he already did. Well, yes, you got to beat Parker Porter twice. You know, if you want to.
Give me that rematch.
Yeah.
Give me that rematch.
Two more fights. He'll have 2 more fights. 2 more fights, and yeah. But I could see one more fight too. I could see one more fight, but I think 2 more fights.
I think this is it. I think he's gonna get a title shot after this win.
Whoa.
I think he's gonna fight Sergey Pavlovich for either an interim title or the vacant heavyweight title in his next fight. Because John Jones is gonna be gone. John's gonna beat Stipe. He's gonna leave, and maybe he vacates, maybe he doesn't. But they have to move this division forward. You need somebody for Sergey Pavlovich to fight. This is why I think they put this fight as the main event, to put Jailton out in front of as many people as possible.
That is a good theory, sir. That is a good theory. I was wondering why this is the main event, and that is a very good theory because remember, John was out for 3 years before, because it could be another 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
and I really do think John will leave unless Francis comes back. And I don't think John's going to stick around to fight Sergey Pavlovich. So I think this would be a nice little international flavored heavyweight championship fight, potentially, whether it's for the interim title or for a vacant title. I think they see an exit strategy for John, and this is the backup plan.
You know what? If Almeida wins in a few hours, Almeida Pavlovich for the interim heavyweight UFC title, I'll have no issues with that. That sounds perfect, actually. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
And then we'll let Cyril Gane fight somebody. We'll let Tom Aspinall fight Marcin Tybura. Yeah. And we'll let the division kind of play itself out a little bit. But in the meantime, we have one of these 2 absolute wrecking balls kind of carrying the torch until John or whoever's ready to come try to take it.
Yeah. That's perfect for interim title. That's a I like that a lot. All right.
Still nothing yet, so we could probably take another question or 2, and then we'll probably and then we have to do make our picks and bonus predictions.
Cool. All right, let's jump off the card real quick and jump some other fighters.
Does Gaslam get a ranked UFC welterweight for his welterweight return?
Gotta look up Kelvin's record. Who's the last welterweight? When was his last welterweight fight?
Tyron Woodley? And he missed weight by like 4 pounds, I think. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute. Was it like 20? I'm going back. Johnny Hendricks. It was Johnny Hendricks. July 2016, UFC 200. Kelvin Gastelum beat Johnny Hendricks. Made weight, 171. He was scheduled for other fights. Remember, he was supposed to fight Donald Cerrone at UFC 205, and he wasn't going to even be close. So they switched it up, and I think Jim Miller ended up fighting him, but Jim didn't actually. Neither guy could cut like a certain amount of weight because they had to keep it within like a certain threshold in order for the fights to happen.
I remember now. Yep.
Yeah. So that was
Donald,
and then he went
Donald
to
weighed in first. That was the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. So.
It's been a while.
Lost to Woodley, lost to Magny. I don't know, man. Maybe a Wonder Boy fight. It wouldn't be a bad one because like this version of Kelvin Gastelum likes to kind of just chuck him, and I kind of like that. So that wouldn't be a bad one. I wouldn't hate that idea if they're not going to do the Michelle Pereira Wonder Boy fight.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Michael Chiesa would be interesting. Yeah, I think you probably will get a ranked guy.
Yeah, I think someone. Yeah, coming off a loss. What's Wonder Boy coming off right now? He's coming off a loss.
The win over the Kevin Holland win.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Oh yeah.
They want Wonderboy to fight Michel Pereira. It just didn't seem like the 289 card was like sort of in the cards for that fight to happen, which is why we never reported that fight to begin with, because we knew that probably wasn't going to happen on that card. So I don't know what the UFC's plans are at this point to try to rebook that fight, or even if they're going to rebook that fight. But you have to think that Kelvin probably ain't fighting for a minute. It's going to take him some time to get down.
And it's gonna be
to
risky.
that weight.
Whoever signs up for that fight too, there's a good chance that fight doesn't happen. Also, I think that might be the issue really with any sort of a fighter with any name like a Wonder Boy. Like, would you take the risk of fighting Gastelum because that fight just might not happen, or Gastelum might show up at 180 pounds?
I think so. I mean, he's getting no pushback from Dana or anybody else. They're telling him go to 170. Like, do it. Take it seriously and do it. So, yeah, and they have the PI now. So as long as Gastelum like stays focused on doing it, I think he can do it. So it's just a matter of, can he maintain that discipline and focus for full time? But just don't book him a fight right now. Don't book him a fight right now. Just let him start getting down to a certain point. For him to make the announcement himself tells me that he's going to take this seriously. He knows what he needs to do. He went to the PI and they probably told him like, all right, here's how you can do this. But just don't book him a fight right now. Like, wait till the end of the summer, see where his numbers are at. And if they feel that he's in a good spot in order to make that cut, then book him a fight and then just gradually get him back down there. I just don't want to see what happened with like Brian Battle. Brian Battle, I mean, that's a horrendous weight cut for him. Like, he looks awful on the scale yesterday. I don't want to see that. And I hope we don't see that from Kelvin Gastelum, but we'll see. But I think he will get somebody like that, some vet name or someone with some sort of name.
He's coming. Yeah, okay. That kind of weird win against Chris Curtis. Yeah.
That fight ruled. That was a great fight.
I wish they would just run that one back, honestly.
Chris Curtis already has a fight. He's fighting Nasruddin Imavov at UFC 289.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know he's got a fight, but I wish they would have just. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So Tainara Lisboa is about to step into the cage. We were waiting Jessica Rose Clark. So let's play the bonus prediction game. What do you got, Casey? Will there be a fight of the night tonight? There's just gonna be one of those cards where all the finishers get bonuses, or we get 4 finish bonuses. What are we thinking here?
You know what? I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna go fight of the night. D-Rod versus Machado Garry. I'm excited about that fight. I think
I like it.
Yeah. I think both these guys are tough. They need this W. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fight of the night.
All right. Who gets the 2 performance bonuses then?
Mr. Almeida and Carl Zolberg.
So I don't think there'll be a fight tonight on this card. I think it's going to be a performance bonus heavy sort of thing. So I will go Almeida, Ulberg, Anthony Smith.
Ooh.
And I'm torn here. I'm torn between Matt Brown and Lisboa.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll go Lisboa. I will go a little different. I think she's going to get this done quick. So I got a feeling. I got the vibes. Let's do main card picks. Alex Morono, Tim Means. Who you got?
Alex Morono, decision.
I got Morono, submission, round 2. Has Tim Means never been knocked out? Is that true? Someone told me that, and I haven't had a chance to look it up. I know he's been submitted. I don't know if he's ever been knocked out in a fight, like finished by strikes, though. Has he?
No. Nico Price got him.
Oh, Nico Price
Nico Price got him. Yeah, and before that, like a long time, probably like his pre-UFC career, I think. Yeah, but in the UFC, yeah, only only
It's once in the UFC, and once in King of the Cage.
oh,
It's either decision or subs.
He fought
He's fought 26 times.
Dude,
in the
Tim
UFC.
Means fought Spencer Fisher in 2005.
I know, right?
What?
So he's been finished once. It was the Nico Price one, and he got finished once outside of the UFC. That's right. Someone's like, "Yeah, I don't think Tim Means has gotten finished by strikes." I was like, "Really? Thought he got finished by strikes a few times, but no, just once."
Yeah, just once.
So that's why I'm picking Alex Morono by sub, like a club and sub type of scenario.
Is Morono
I believe
finally use his grappling? Yeah.
He hasn't needed it, but I think he's gonna sting Means. Means getting up there in age. He's been in a lot of battles. I think Morono's got just under the radar power. I think he's looked great. I thought he looked real good in the Ponzinibbio fight. I hated that stoppage. Not a fan of that one. It's very rare that I'll like nitpick a stoppage. Kind of nitpicking that one. I felt like Morono deserved a little bit more, but
absolutely,
not here nor there.
Yeah, absolutely. But,
we're both on Olberg. I got first round KO.
I'm going second. I'm going second round KO, but yeah, I'm predicting a big finish from Olberg.
All right, Ian Machado Garry, big favorite against Daniel Rodriguez. Who gets this done?
D-Rod decision.
So the betting, like, I don't hate that pick at all. The betting value is clearly on D-Rod at plus 250, but I'm picking Ian Garry to win a decision here. I think if D-Rod wins, he's got to get him out of there early. He can't let Garry start to cook. And again, I think D-Rod's great. I think the dude is just he's a natural born fighter, but he's getting up there in age too. And I think the longer the fight goes, the more it favors Garry, and I'll go with Garry to get the biggest win of his career. I'm going Anthony Smith, second round sub against Johnny Walker in the co-main event.
That is a very likely outcome, but I'm going to go Johnny Walker, first round knockout.
All right. That fight, it's an intriguing fight. And then I'm picking Jailton Almeida. I don't think he submits Jairzinho Rozenstruik, but I think he tackles him, mounts him, and just punches him 100 times. And then the referee's just like, all right, he ain't getting up. We're stopping this thing. So I'm in a first round TKO.
I have a mercy stoppage early in round 3 after 2 10-8 rounds.
Damn. All right. Well, the first fight is underway. Jessica Rose Clark, Tainara Lisboa. They're about 45 seconds into this. And let's see if my Lisboa performance of the night pick comes to fruition. So enjoy, everybody. Early day MMA. We'll be back after all this for the post-fight show as well and recap everything that went down. So thank you for watching. Enjoy early day MMA. For Casey, I am Mike Heck. We'll see you later on, everybody.